This is the Long War. I'm MVG, or Robbie B, as some people like to call me on this here, the Long War. And well, my partners in crime aren't quite here yet. Kenny is in the queue. Oh, there he is. He might be here. Not sure if you're experiencing technical difficulties. And Juice is on the way. He just texted me he's going to be a little bit late. We recorded our first battle cast, or I guess a battle report here at the new studio, and everybody had a hard time getting home, a little delayed, some things like that. Looks like Kenny's in. So we're gonna get
testing 1, 2, 3.
There he is. We hear you.
I literally had everything set up, and I like my new super fresh mic, and I'm like, literally it recognizes. Why can't no one hear me? Oh yeah, this condenser mic has a power source that I have everything plugged into except one thing: the power button.
That seems important. Powered mics need power, dog.
Also got this ridiculous blue headset on today instead of my more low profile, because I need a length of cable to reach my computer to talk to y'all and hear Rob, to not as distract you guys with the feedback loop. And I remember that earlier today I was at the Beats Laboratory and I brought all my extenders to the Beats Laboratory because we have new technology that we've been playtesting today. New camera, new audio, new surroundings.
Well,
so
we borrowed it. It's not ours.
Borrowed, but kind of try to buy kind of thing, we need to, we've been limping along with scrub gear, and we're talking not even scrub gear, just things that are $300-400 or $100 here, that kind of scrub gear. I don't know about you, but that's a lot of money to me. And so this is kind of our foot in the water of more pro status, incredibly amazing equipment with amazing audio equipment, and obviously it's time because we've taken literally the step toward having a dedicated facility to film these in. So I'm glad we got an opportunity to try. And also to all the veterans out there, I'm finally using the new program, Adobe Premiere.
Yep, that's true.
And so I'm on that, learning new fresh mixes on there. Just season 2 is going to be fresh, and we're going to have something hot for you guys as early as possibly this Monday coming up.
I know I'm excited. I want to see how those shots turned out that I took today, because I was pretty excited. I was like, man, this looks good.
Rob is in there using we're talking if the camera that you normally use is here, his camera is still here that he uses. But now the new camera, that not even on the same chart as the previous two. So even though he's become a master cameraman, he's literally, I'm the greatest race car driver on earth, but where's the on button?
Yeah, it took a hot minute.
How do you start this car? Where do you put the gas in?
Yeah, which one's the any key? Yep. No, literally, I was like, how does the video work?
Literally for 5 minutes, all he was doing was click, 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 click. Yeah, I literally just took 6 still shots, pictures.
Yeah, because you can take still shots while you record. The record button is here, and normally, when you're holding it, it's your index finger to record, but the record button's actually here. So I have to focus with this button. So now I'm taking still shots. I was like, okay, I messed that up. Start again. I'm I gotta hit this button.
So funny. Anyway, man, I don't mean to cut you off. I've been home for a few minutes. Just drove back from Fayetteville. Kicking it with Rob all day, trying the new equipment out. So, as you said, Juice will be here soon.
Yeah, Juice. I figured everybody check in, say hi. Juice will probably love to do the rundown because I know he wasn't here last week. He had some stuff happen last week, so I'm sure he would love to say hi to everybody as soon as he jumps in here. So I'm going to leave that for him. So make sure you jump on here and say hi for him. Some of the stuff I wanted to talk about tonight, and Tabletop Market Watch, is it looks like Age of Sigmar is about done. It's been about 9 weeks, and there's a lot of rumors out there. So I just got hot off the press the possible contents of the Horus Heresy starter box. So I definitely wanted to talk about that because Horus Heresy is hot, and I haven't added it up yet to see how much it would cost in resin as opposed to the plastic. But I mean, I know it's not even going to compare because you get 5 dudes, 5 Legionnaires for $40, and you don't even get the weapons for them. And now you're going to get 40 Legionnaires in this new plastic box, and there's no way this plastic box is going to be more than $150. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be so good value. It's ridiculous.
I can't lie that that's better value, but I mean, you gotta GW's business model is clutch. Get us addicted to the crack, and then just jack the price up on the crack. You know what I mean? You can't stop. You can't stop smoking crack. It's impossible.
It turns out that's really bad. Now, so there's some of that I want to talk about. Obviously, towel rumors, they look to be very close. We're hearing a lot of stuff like that. Kenny, what did you think of those new airbrush paints that I texted you a picture of?
Yo, it's pretty impressive. I mean, I did read a bunch of the, like, I looked at them and I was like, okay, GW's breaking into the airbrush game. So
right.
I didn't think very much of it at first. You know, I was just like, I mean, I guess I trust them because I trust them with all of my heart's desires for entertainment. And then I just decided to go read around on the internet and see what other people thought of them. And I feel like most of the people have it right. Like, I think that it's probably nothing to write home about. You know, it's probably just their current it's kind of, you know, their current paints, probably with a retarder mixed into it to, you know, while it's thinned down. So, it works better. I mean, yo, literally can't talk about it without talking about this. Yo, the shape of the bottle is still a pot for dipping paint in, a paintbrush into.
Yeah, what is that? That seems a little ridiculous.
That's a little preposterous. So that's laziness, or also just, you know, trying to cut corners. There's a lot of 40K fanboys out there who will not stop using GW paints, and that's kind of the only thing holding them back from getting an airbrush. So I feel like they're going to do just fine with it, but you know, they're going to have to do a lot of work to impress me to use them.
Well, I do like the fact that supposedly they're like color match, you know, so you can say you have, you know, the Troll Slayer orange and you're spraying the Troll Slayer orange and you want to fix, you know, say you get something on that fade or whatever. I don't know, just saying.
No,
but
it's a good point.
supposedly you can take and color match the paint pot with the brush, you know, and me and you both know going back and trying to fix, you know, something you messed up with the airbrush paint that's already thinned down, you know, you'd have to do a million coats. So that's kind of cool to see. I kind of like that page or that benefit. Which
is well as this makes me kind of nervous. Like, so if you color matched it perfectly, that means it's actually the same paint.
That is also a concern. Is it just thinner? Don't know.
Like, you know, like if it's just thinner, that means they're putting less paint in the pots and charging the same.
Well, I mean,
because I can thin it down myself.
But because Army Painter has the sprays, you know, the aerosol sprays, and supposedly when you spray that aerosol, that red, that green, that Space Wolf gray, whatever, when you spray that onto your mini, supposedly you can take their paint dropper bottles. That color that you brush out of that will match what you just sprayed as an aerosol. So how did they make an aerosol? You know what I mean? Like, did they thin it down? Like,
well, I mean, yeah, they did. It's their formula. Like, they did.
I don't know. I mean, it'd be cool because theoretically Games Workshop has aerosols. You know, they do like those limited edition aerosol cans, or I guess that might be direct order, right? So you could spray those and then you could take and then maybe use the paint pots as well, and then the airbrush paint over that. Like, I don't know. It seems like you could kind of go infinite with it. I really want to do a review on it. Like,
I'm definitely going to paint an army with them before I make my decision up. It's just right now, GW paints is more expensive than gold, as far as I could tell.
I think one of the most expensive liquids on earth is like printer toner or printer ink and
inkjet printers and GW paint.
There's Juicy J, you there?
Yo, chestnut ink is ridiculous.
$40 a bottle on eBay all day.
Yo, I'm fully prepared right now to pay $45. Contact me.
Doc, seriously, when GW switched their paint line over, Devlin Mud and Bad Ab Black were a part of my life. And when they switched over, I was like literally on eBay, like, I've got commissions coming in, I need this. Like, I was like scouring, literally $10, $14, $20 a pot. I was like, well, I'm about to get a new life.
Yep.
Like,
I'm not about that life.
It's not in my life anymore. It's just like, girl, when the first time you loved me, the pain was so much, like, I don't think I can let you back in my life.
Yeah, there's actually like addicts that have a cheaper hobby than that, you know?
Yeah. We were just talking about the Horus Heresy plastics, and like what great value, getting 40 Legionnaires for $150 is probably going to be. And I was like, yeah, it's like vacuum value. It's like they get us hooked on crack, and then they say now the crack costs twice as much as it used to cost. And then, but I only sell you crack in small increments, so now I'm going to sell you twice as much crack for just a little bit more money, but I'm the one who sets the price of cracks. So.
Oh, yeah, 100%. That is, they've definitely got the market figured out, because not only that, they're like, The reason why this other crack was so expensive is because it was imported from Egypt, and only certain crackologists could make it. Now, any crackologist can make this because we're transferring it to plastic instead of good resin. So, you know, they got us.
I think ultimately the thing you got to be most concerned about here is like, yo, has anyone on Earth ever quit smoking crack?
No, not ever. I haven't even started, and I can't even say I quit.
Yeah, it's just...
crack is that addicting.
Yeah.
So I left the Q&A up, Juice, because I promised everybody you would be here and that you would want to run it down.
Oh, 100%.
So everybody jumped in and said hi.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. Troy checking in. What's happening, dog? Sal, man, it's great to see you too. Hope everything's going well with you. Black Tower Terrain checking in. Glad to see me back. Me too, man. I'm glad I can be here this week. Lamont, you know my question. I got to know. It's our regular. What are you working on? What do you got going on? Mr. CEO himself, Sean Brown, is actually working on it. He's saying he's getting some markers ready for BeakyCon. So that's pretty cool. That's the Florida GT.
Yeah, Steve Turner runs that.
Yeah, Steve Turner. What a great guy. Steve Bruley, everybody's favorite. What's going on?
I just wanted, before you go on, like I was trying to unmute myself. Steve Turner, a.k.a. Emperor Palpatine.
Yes.
When he's next to you, he looks like Emperor Palpatine. That's for sure. Oh.
Yeah, there's some pretty good pictures from ATC with Kenny and.
Oh my God.
Turner.
Yeah, Steve Turner's like, yo, hey, dog, how tall are you? And I was like, yo, I'm like 6 feet tall. Like, you know, with my boots, probably 6'1", 6'2" almost. You know, and he's like, yeah, me too, man. Let's take a picture for the blog. And he takes a picture next to me. I had some kid take a picture. And, like, he's obviously, like, a foot shorter than me. And
yeah, he's obviously, like, 5'4".
Like, you know, like, you know. I was like, dog, you look insane. He's absolutely Emperor Palpatine.
I think we lost Juice.
Juice, I mean, probably knocked over everything, and he's plugging it back in right now. I bet you can hear everything we're saying in his kitchen right now. So,
secretly cursing the technology fairies. Oh, poor Juice. Well, I'll let him pick back up. But I have the contents here for the Horus Heresy. Are you ready?
The rumored contents or the actual contents?
We'll go with rumored contents, just so we don't offend anybody's sensibilities. I reserve the right to. I always reserve the right to backpedal, but I never want to misspeak on purpose, I guess. All right, so the Horus Heresy Battle for Ultramar miniatures contents: 44 total miniatures, rumored, allegedly. Mark IV, 2 squads of Mark IV Marines. It looks like. A squad of 10 Cataphractii Terminator pattern, or what is this times? Cataphractii Terminator Praetor. We've already seen that sprue. The Praetor, the captain, and then the captain and Terminator armor. Basically, they call them different back then. So that looks really cool. A plastic Contemptor Dreadnought. That's what's up.
This is getting hectic.
And 2 squads of the Cataphractii Terminators themselves. And then supposedly an unknown model, which could be a second Contemptor or another unknown model that's equal to a Contemptor. I would imagine it would just be a second Contemptor just because GW doesn't want to, it costs so much money to develop those sprues. They could just do it twice. And they literally make a carbon copy of the whole box, and they only have to make 3 sprues or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I heard that. Yo, I'm about to technically support Juice real quick. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay. Yep, no problem. So the whole box set is supposed to take place like the battle for Calth, Ultramarine versus word bearers and things, the surprise attack on Calth. I think it's book 5 Tempest of the actual Horus Heresy itself. So, one of the things I'm actually writing about right now, I wrote it up before the show here tonight, was what, people are very on the fence about Age of Sigmar. Either it's like the most bestest everest thing that ever happened, or it's like the worst thing that ever happened, and people are setting their armies on fire, right? So, it's pretty funny when you think about it. In that it could Age of Sigmar couldn't be any more polarizing than it turned out to be, right? So when you start and think of this, you know, people are like, oh man, what if they do this to 40K? What if they do this to 40K? Like what, you know, I love 40K. Why would they ever do that? Well, first of all, calm down. Everybody, calm down. Fantasy took a 5-year slide from when it came out in July of 2010. Everybody knew by the fall it was completely busted. Like the whole Purple Sun thing and, you know, the Power Scrolls or the Power Dice, it was just over the top, right? So like people were already like on the fences, you know, late 2010 being like WTF. And then the game just kind of slid, right? Slid. We saw it coming. Everybody saw, you know, not as many people playing Fantasy. Retailers weren't reordering it, things like that. That is not the case for 40K. I think we can all agree that, you know, from June to June of the year before, we had 13 new books come out. Right now, we only have like 4 books left to come out. You got the 2 Chaoses, Chaos and Demons, right? You got Tau, you got Tyranids, basically. So you got 4 more books. And if we saw from, you know, any indication out last year, 12 to 13 books over a 1-year period, you know, by this time, or say June of next year, I imagine all of the 7th edition books will be up to date. There'll be Age of Sigmar releases. There could even be supplemental Horus Heresy releases if they have these plastics. You know, there's no reason they couldn't put out these box sets, right? So, hey, here's a plastic Cataphractii scroll. We've already seen it. GW stores are rebranding. They have a whole 2-foot, I believe it's like 2 sections of 4 feet. So a whole 8-foot section of their store is basically filled in merchandise right now, Christmas merchandise, battle forces, you know, army boxes, things like that. So they can easily push all that aside, put it to the tops, and then put these Horus Heresy stuff in. Now, here's where it gets a little weird about the whole Horus Heresy rules, or the simplified 40K rules, the Age of Sigmar treatment. They're not going to put the Horus Heresy books. You know, I have all these boxes around here that people carried up, and they're like, what's in these books? And I was like, or what's in these boxes? I'm like, Forge World books. And they're like, I hate you. They're not going to put these books in the Ages, you know, the new Horus Heresy starter, right? So what we could see is some simplified rules, perhaps, in a Horus Heresy starter, if it's even meant to be played like Horus Heresy from Forge World. Maybe it's like some sort of mini game like that, you know, Assassin Execution Force. We don't know, but chances are 40K won't get Age of Sigmarized, and if it did,
chances are
we would see it coming.
Chances are I'm buying that whole box and using them for everything.
Right? It's going to be such a good deal. It's going to be a better deal than like buying tactical squads. It's going to be like the best value ever. And that might be why they actually limited it. Because remember that chapter, you could buy a chapter of Space Marines, like the 100 Space Marine box.
Oh yeah.
And all the rhinos and everything, and it was like $500 or whatever, and it was only available for like 6 months. And then they started like creeping up in price. I bet you it'll do something like that. I could totally see it.
That seems smart.
How'd your tech activities go? Did you appease the machine spirits?
I had him sign in through his other account, so maybe we'll see him here soon. You know how G Hangouts gets. We promised we'll be on Twitch one of these days. It's just, it's either like a week without doing battle reports or a week or one more week on this crap. So that's like the decisions we have to make every week.
It's true. It looks like we have a juice in here. He might not be able to talk yet.
I should be up and running.
There he is. Made it.
Go back in action.
I am the Messiah. Is that the right
You're
term?
right. Heck yeah.
Everybody
missed you again. You teased them, and now you're back.
I just had, basically what happened was one of the gerbils got tired. I had to, jump start him. throw a new hamster ball down for everybody to check out, so get everything back up and running. My dial-up connection's a little slow,
Yeah, 56K.
Yeah. I'm using my 10. What's that calculator everybody used? The TI-86.
Yeah. I think I used the TI-81.
Damn.
Yeah.
The struggle.
The trash. Evan Valdyke shouting us out an email. Said just a little too early for the West Coast. Taking on a webcast, but he's wishes us all a good webcast.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Evan. Yeah, good old Ev.
Well, that's the good thing about this. If you're a veteran of Long War, we would put it up in I think I get it on there in the morning generally, Thursday morning. So you can, if you don't have a chance to see it, you can always log in and check it out.
Yeah,
Commercial free for a week.
Hopefully we're entertaining enough.
Technical difficulties aside and things.
Did you guys go ahead and give the spoiler alert that we just put out?
Yeah,
just recorded.
We did talk about that for a while, but Juice, give us your take of the whole process.
Man, I absolutely. Sorry, I'm still having some camera issues. I'm gonna work through it here, but yeah, man, I am so pumped to have the new Beats Laboratory up and running. It is absolutely amazing. We're gonna have the freshest. I can't wait for everybody to see it. We got 360 backdrops that are fresh. We've got all the high quality. These guys have done so much work into getting it prepared. Can't wait till we can start pumping it out. And spoiler alert, if everything goes great, Season 2 could start as recording as early as next weekend, so we can get that first official 40K.
No holds bar, bringing a hobby back, official league of the Long War.
Extraordinary gentlemen.
Yep.
And we also got a new assistant today. New assistant on the studio.
Oh,
Her name's Annie.
Her name's Annie, and last name Bear.
And she is super sassy.
Yeah. She wanted. We were trying to wrap up and do some stuff, and she said, "I will be heard."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She said, "You will pick me up, and I will purr,
Yes.
or else I will ruin your video." I'm like,
She's a cat. In case you didn't realize, she is a cat. Because the only two human beings on Earth that Rob knows in real life, the only three people on Earth he knows in real life besides me and Juice are his three cats.
Why you gotta tell people I got 3 cats? Now you're gonna think I'm a crazy cat person.
I admitted that they were people. I didn't say they weren't people. At least.
That's fair. They're people.
Oh, Flashpoint checking in. Veteran checking in. Like to hear it. Glad you are, brother. Emperor's checking in. Sub dog. What's happening? Steve Bruley, man. Miss you guys. Can't wait to hang out and see you soon.
We lost him.
His gerbils. His poor gerbils.
No. I think Rob, you might have to finish the roll call that we've been trying.
I know, right? I'm gonna have to hop in here.
Last 24 minutes.
It's the longest roll call ever. Oh my goodness. Let's see. So Sean Brown says he's doing all the markers for Steve Turner's BeakyCon. That's cool. I have not been to BeakyCon yet. You've been, haven't you, Kenny?
Yeah, I went out one time. It's a little bit more convenient for me, obviously, because my parents live in Florida.
Yeah, obviously.
So I had a good time out there. Obviously, the location is really nice. Tampa Bay, I think he's still doing it there, unless he moved it, because I think he lives in Tampa now, right? Or Clearwater.
Yeah, Clearwater by yeah, it's by Tampa, right?
Yeah. I mean, like when I went there, it was right off the bay, so that was really good, man. Like some classy joints to grab some beers and eat some food out there. You can't really question Tampa Bay evening, in October or whatever, when the rest of the country is jealous as hell.
No, I agree with that. I'm performing technical issues right now.
I feel like I got the same text. Oh my god, I've never seen this screen before.
Yeah, that's a not a good screen. I just told him
the video call ended because of authentication issues. I will show this to the world, so they don't believe I'm making this up. This is what Juice is seeing right now.
I don't know. That was his own personal account. Like, how is he not himself?
Yep.
I don't even know. Anywho, so we got Black Tower Terrain checking in. What's up, dog? Up there in the mountains.
Up in the mountains.
The mountains. So I think we covered everybody here, but then Emperor's Canary said something about, I hope they aren't listening to you brag about what good deal Horus Heresy will be. Me too, actually. I hope they don't understand what they're doing.
If GW listened to us, they would have hired us by now, so they don't.
Right, yeah, no, I agree with that. Sal's checking in saying that he has Chicago area running our first official tournament for Friendly Fire Gaming. You can check them out on Facebook. There's a group up. I think I am part of that now too, at a local convention. Going to be a blast. We have an amazing amount of players coming to it. Right now, 16 players confirmed. So
Friendly Fire Gaming.
Friendly Fire Gaming. Yep, they're on the Facebooks.
And is that a game? Is that a local gaming store out there in Chicago, or what is that?
I think that's a group that Sal and some other people started. I want to say. I'm sure you can fill us in.
Very cool.
Now we had an interesting rules question today about the Dream Crusher.
Oh yeah, we've been talking a lot about the Dream Crusher and what's his name? Justin Pizzariano. Is that his last name?
Justin P. He told us to just call him Justin P.
Justin Pizzano. Yeah, Justin P. He's actually in my profile picture on my Twitter page. He defeated me in an arm wrestling match. He won that. He won that from me. And no, he was like, talking about all his first turn charges with the Dream Crusher formation. And I was like, yeah, I don't think you can do certain things, with like mixing Nemesis Strike Force and stuff in there. And he was like, no, dude, just a drop pod, like drop pod full of Terminators, Blood Angel Terminators and a Blood Angel drop pod. Rolling for reserves, bringing the Dream Crusher formation on, the 3 Storm Ravens, and the drop pod come in the same turn. You can just choose the order of operations. You say, hey, Storm Ravens move 36 inches. Now the drop pod comes in. As long as it ends up within 6 inches of two of these Storm Ravens, the guys inside can charge. And he's like,
what is that called? The Angel Strike Force?
Angel Strike Force of Fury or something ridiculous. Like, it's just if you don't know what we mean when we say Dream Crusher, we're talking about the triple Storm Ravens that can come on turn 1. And when people enter via Deep Strike reserves within 6 inches of 2 of them, they're going to assault the same turn. And so basically he's like, why can't you do this with drop pods on turn 1? Nothing special, like literally like anything in drop pods, all Blood Angels. Could you do this? And I'm like, yeah, it's hard to argue why you can't. Like, why wouldn't you be able to?
Yeah, that's a good point. I want to see how that formation is worded. I think that was the one that was in the White Dwarf, right? Or
yeah,
that wasn't.
I think it's a White Dwarf one, right?
Yeah, I don't think I had that.
It's not in the book.
Available.
It's not in Exterminatus, is it?
I don't think it is. I have Exterminatus. I'll check that in a second. But I just looked at, here it is right here. Angel Strike Force. That is a real thing. That is what it's called.
Does anybody have any experience on that? Like, I can't imagine somebody would try to argue that a unit of Terminators entering the game in a drop pod are not entering the game via Deep Strike reserves. As it says that the drop pod is deep striking and they're coming out of reserves. Now, I mean, someone might try to argue like that's the drop pod, not the guys. Well, how did the guys get here? So I don't know if anyone's had experience playing it this way, but I could definitely see myself running 3 drop pods, one of them with Terminators in it, one of them with Cascadator, that super sweet Troop Choice Dreadnought, and bringing those guys in turn 1 and trying to assault with them. So please let me know what you guys do. But I think we have determined that you can't mix up the factions and do it with other people.
Yeah, for combined reserves, I think it's page 118. I don't think you can do that. But this one's a little perplexing because does the drop pod arrive by Deep Strike reserves, or does the whole unit?
Definitely the drop pod is entering the game via Deep Strike, and the whole unit's coming, and both units are coming into reserves. So if you're deploying the unit outside the drop pod that came in through Deep Strike reserves, you would have to argue with me that this unit didn't come in through Deep Strike reserves, just the drop pod did. And then you can say, okay, if the unit came in through, I mean, they had the unit gear. You know what I mean? Like, it just, so got to see how people are playing it. Like, I think you should be able to do it, especially in the midst of all these like turn 1 charge things that are coming out left and right.
Like, yeah, I think if we were taking it from back then when people were like, there's no basis for this, but now we kind of have a precedent with all these formations and things, I feel like this is kind of the way things are going, but we don't have any clear, concise ruling on that.
Yeah, I mean, like, what does it say in the drop pod entry? Like, what, like, is there any compelling wording there? Does it say that, like, yo, though this drop pod is coming in through Deep Strike reserves, the unit inside is not? Like,
yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to check that one next.
That unit definitely entered the game via something, and it's hard to say it didn't enter the game via Deep Strike reserves.
The combined reserve seems to be where I would think a lot of this would be cleared up. That particular combined reserve units. During deployment, when deciding which units are kept as reserve, you must specify if any independent characters are in reserve and join a unit, in which case they must arrive together. Similarly, if you specify any units in reserve are embarked upon transport vehicles in reserve, which are the case, they will arrive together. So they're arriving together.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely arriving together. They're definitely both. I mean, like definitely the unit side is arriving via what it's arriving to because they're arriving together.
There's something for deep strike.
It even says if you mishap the drop pod, the unit inside has also gone. Like, it doesn't say like the drop pod goes back into reserves and the guys stay here. It doesn't say the drop pod gets destroyed but the guys don't. Literally, they share everything. So they share the risks and the rewards.
Arriving by deep strike. Roll for the arrival of all deep striking units as specified in the rules for reserves, page 135, which I just read.
I'm liking it. As many drop pods as you could possibly get in an 1850 list and try to charge people on turn 1.
I'm with that.
Oh, here we go. The units do not confer the deep strike special rule onto a transport vehicle there. Oh, a transport vehicle with deep strike. Okay, yeah. So...
Did that just nullify that?
No, basically it's saying that if you put something that has deep strike into a vehicle, it doesn't, like, say you put dudes that have deep strike into a Rhino, the Rhino can't deep strike now. Which,
yeah, because obviously it wouldn't be the other way around, because absolutely it would.
I hear that.
Yeah. So I think...
And it doesn't even say units with a deep strike special rule. It says, I think it says, like in the Dream Crusher formation, units arriving via deep strike reserves, I think.
Right, so if you put... Remember, units is very specifically not worded specifically. I don't know if that makes sense. So page 8 says a unit is just one model, or it could be a unit of models.
Yeah, no, literally, it's like, I mean, the word via is like what brings it into, like, this unit of 5 Terminators got on the table via something, dog.
Yep, I think it's legal. I think theoretically you could do that, but it's going to be pricey because you're buying a 35-point or 50-point models. So, yes.
No, it seems
to be able to assault turn 1 with some Terminators. I
guess that 35-point tax is okay then.
Are you kidding me? So, yeah, that's awesome. I mean, as Kenny was alluding to when we were talking earlier, like someone like Blood Angels, like straight Blood Angels, is solid again.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is definitely one of the coolest ways to play Blood Angels. And also, people always forget that White Dwarf, man, the Troop Choice Dreadnought Castigator, or whatever his name is. He's a objective-secure drop pod who can take his own objective-secure Dreadnought who can take his own objective-secure drop pod. And he's a pretty beast profile. Like, as far as Dreadnoughts go, he's not bad. You know,
I mean, if you're telling people that they can assault turn 1 and get into combat and actually not have to go through rounds of shooting, Dreadnoughts are viable again.
Yeah.
That's 100% true.
If they don't have to get hit by one melta-gun the whole game before they charge, I'm so much happier with them.
Yeah, shy of like a random Overwatch, like, yes, fine, got it.
Yeah.
You know, so Lamont, to my question earlier about what he's up to while I was having technical issues back and forth tonight, he says, I'm working on a pepperoni pizza. I like where your head's at. And probably going to start in on the Sanguine Strike Force box I bought.
That's a lot of models.
Yeah, that is gangster.
Speaking of Blood Angels, right?
Speaking of Blood Angels, we played Blood Angels today. We're talking Dream Crusher formation still, and people are buying Sanguine Strike boxes. Like, what? I mean,
yep.
Blood Angels are day.
All day.
You guys been following me on Instagram? Been checking out those Plague Frogs I've been working on?
I love those models. I'm so glad they kept them. They didn't discontinue them.
I was hoping we'd be able to throw them on camera today, but definitely next time.
Yep, they're great. I'm putting them on 50mm bases so that they can be like Beast and Nurgle or Spawn, kind of a base size in between the two.
Did you guys get to Emperor's question? Does a unit that was in a Rhino that has outflank count as outflanking themselves?
I think that things confer to the vehicle, not the other way around, right?
Yes. Things do not confer to the vehicle. The vehicle, if it arrives a certain way, confers, I believe. Well, that was for Deep Strike. Let me look up Outflank.
Yeah, I think Outflank is different. I think it literally says the dedicated transport. I think it says a unit and their dedicated transport. That's like the only way to do it.
I don't know how you could get something to outflanks without. Interesting. I'm not exactly sure on that one.
There's a billion things. I mean,
yeah, Chosen, for example, they always had outflank, and if you gave them a rhino, they could do it. But I don't know of something that has a rhino that has outflank. I guess maybe like a White Scars rhino.
Yeah, but it says tactical marines have outflank, and then you go in there and it says dedicated transports. You convert it to dedicated transport.
Yeah.
If a unit deploys inside a dedicated transport, they may outflank along with their transport.
And you can't deploy inside of a dedicated transport if it's not your own dedicated transport. So.
Correct.
Good point. Michael Horner is checking in. Thanks for asking questions, Michael. Is anyone else tired of trying to find out where all the formation rules are? True story.
Actually, you can hit up Tasty's got a little Tasty Taste over on Blooded Kittens has been meticulously cataloging all the formations. He has a little drop down catalog. We'll say catalog, but
drop down menu.
Yeah, drop down. You can order it from list. Yeah, he's been keeping up with that pretty good. Check that out.
So now, is there actual rules there? Do you know, or is it just like different names? I
don't think
click the tab?
Sure there's rules there, but it'll say like if you're like, hey, I'm looking for, do the Grey Knights have a formation? Let me click Grey Knights, and it'll be like, yeah, and then Strike Force, Grey Knight, the big thing that's like set, and it'll tell you, where it was from. I don't know if it lists the rules.
I mean that's half the battle still. Like that's still half the battle.
Yeah.
Not bad. I don't think you can have a big old blog with a lot of traffic and post all GW's rules on there for free. Then you probably get in trouble.
Yeah, they frown upon that.
So now that I see all the Horus Heresy talk and everything else earlier, like how excited are you guys to do a couple more Horus Heresy battle reports?
Ooh, that's a good point. Yeah, those games are super fun.
Man, I can't wait. I know we were gonna talk about something tonight, but then we got all flustered driving back to our houses and everything. Rob, what was the thing you were talking about? Was it just plastic Horus Heresy? Are we having a slow news day?
No, it never seems like as of late. No. We got Tau rumors too. Supposedly Tau are the rumors in the back of the White Dwarf. Something about shields up and a new war tome. Supposedly, what I'm hearing is they will be out September 12th, or at least go on pre-order September 12th. So
gracious, that's right around the corner. So the 40K hiatus, the last, or 40K blackout for the last 3 to 5 weeks.
9 weeks.
Ooh.
Yeah.
9 weeks from today, or 9 weeks from September 12th.
9 weeks to September 12th. It'll be because it was July 4th.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
I'm
glad for the break, though.
I would have liked to see some 40K splashed in there. I don't think they needed to go hard in the paint like they did.
We don't have any actual Tau rumors. It's rumored that they're coming out.
Oh no, I got some. Some of the guys, Lord of War on Facebook, he has a lot to say about it. He's been posting up a lot on Facebook. So basically, there's going to be a new XV8 suit. It's either going to be a Crisis Commander, some sort of commander, or a completely new kit. Because the kit's actually from like 2001, actually September 2001, which is a really bad date.
The Crisis suits. The Crisis suits are terrible.
Yeah, they're definitely dated. So they need something new. And if you think about it, the last 2 Codex books, there has always been a commander released with them. There was the one that was part pewter, part that went with the current classic one, and then there was that Finecast one that's got the gangster lean. He's like,
oh my god,
oh, he's so horrible.
Like the model of those Crisis suits are supposed to be so bulky, and then the commander is supposed to be bigger than the Crisis suit. And what do we know? He can barely stand up, and he's not even jumping off a rock.
He's just like slowly falling.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's slow falling.
You remember Tau was so bad when they came out back in third. They came out 3rd edition, didn't they?
Yeah, it was whenever they had the rulebook.
They're one of the first new armies we got, like totally new races. Like that was just out of nowhere. Here we go, Tau, right? Oh, this is gonna be so amazing. This is so amazing. Literally, you tabled every Tau army you played against. They were awful.
Yep.
And then they scrambled and got a new codex. Like, it's the first time that happened. And, like, GW is like, oh, this codex is crap. New one. So I'm glad that they're taking the time this time, at least.
Yeah, it was right around that same time we had the 3rd edition rulebook that had all the basic rules for everybody inside of it.
You had to get your White Dwarf just to see your new updates and stuff every week.
Yep. And they were just as basically as bad as Necrons. It was like, what's your phase out number?
Yep.
I can tell you, I never lost to a Necron player when they had a 30 or less phase out number.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they were not good. I remember, I mean, like, those are the dark days when, like, we had a Chaos had a Demon Prince. It was in the White Dwarf, I think, or, like, maybe in Chapter Approved or something. Like, we had that Gangster 2nd Edition Demon Prince model and no actual Demon Prince entry.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
You know, and then there was this weird overlap period where if you had the Marker Nurgle, you had +1 toughness, right? But you could be like a Nurgle, you could be a Plague Marine, right? So you can be like a Nurgle Lord, buy the Marker Nurgle, and put him on a bike, and he was toughness 7. Because it was like I remember that, but that was also the same time we didn't have invulnerables on Terminators yet. And for all intents and purposes, your toughness 7 biker lord was only toughness 4 when a melta gun wounded him.
It was coming in at you. Yep. Yo, yeah, just imagine how good. So it's like it's a double-edged sword. We're talking about all this bad stuff, but we didn't have 3-up invulnerable storm shields.
We didn't even have 5-up invulnerables on Terminators.
No, it took a while. That took a while. That wasn't even in the 3rd edition, the starter book you guys are talking about. They actually put that in a White Dwarf.
Yep.
Yo, when the orc chopper ruled the day.
The worst rule ever.
Yo, literally, didn't matter what armor you had, you couldn't take a 4-up save. The best you could take is a 4-up save. So I could be wearing a T-shirt, I still get my 6. But you in Terminator armor, you now only have a 4.
Well, even better. Like, I'm an Imperial Guardsman with a flak jacket on. I have a 4. It stays a 4. Like, no, it was... Orcs were gangster back in those days, man. There was some... But it's like, as new rules come out, you have to up the ante. Like, you're not trying to play last edition's game. You're not trying to play less rules. Like, when a new Devastator squad comes out and the new Codex, it better be better than the last time, or what's the point? Like, if it's still just 5 guys... and they pay way too many points for their heavy weapons, and they literally cost, and they just have 4 heavy weapons, and there's nothing else to them. Like, why would you play them?
Yo, it's so revolutionary when the Space Wolves came out.
Yep.
With their long fangs.
Yeah, the missile launchers were...
being able to have that 5-9.
Yeah.
Split fire and stuff.
But also having the missile launchers be the same points as they were for, like, the squads. Like, 10 points. You always had to pay this premium, so that was revolutionary. And now we have, like, heavy grav cannons, the Sigmar, or the whatever is still there. Like, now you have things like Sky Annihilation Force that make them come in and drop pods and be relentless until they come in. You need things like that. Combat doctrines. You need to up the ante every edition. So, like, I heard that Chaos had rumors coming out, Rob.
There's a couple things here and there, but nothing too crazy.
No rumors on what's going to happen yet, or...
No, I mean the conventional rumor out there was that they were gonna kind of taper the Age of Sigmar, the end of it, into like some sort of Tzeentch thing, and then drop out a Greater Demon. But that doesn't seem to be the case. That doesn't mean like in October or November maybe we'll see, because remember there's still the units that have the wings, the prosecutors I think they're called, that don't have a multi-part kit. It doesn't look like we're gonna see the Flesh Hounds multi-part kit. There's those tiles, those Realm of Battle tiles that we keep seeing pictures of, but they haven't had an official release yet either. So, is that going to be a Christmas thing? Don't know.
I hope we don't have to wait that long.
I would literally do anything for a new Chaos Codex right now.
Now,
so there's no other new rumor about if the Tzeentch Demonkin and all that stuff is on the horizon?
No, everything's shifting to like Horus Heresy and Tau. Tau apparently is happening. Like they call retailers and they're like, "Hey, your XV8 suit, you can't order it anymore."
So we cut you off, but like you were saying that there's going to be a new suit.
Oh yeah, so there's going to be like a new XV8 suit supposedly that'll either be a standalone kit itself, and or maybe a commander sprue, or it's just a commander, and then a bigger than a Riptide kind of box set, maybe some sort of colossal. Excuse me.
Please give me a. Obviously, they should have a gargantuan creature.
Yep.
Right. Something bigger, and then like a painting guide, a new codex. Originally, it was just going to be like a Grey Knight release, just a book. But now,
please give me the gigantic Riptide who has 5D shots and has a stomp now, and is a gargantuan creature who is jetpack, so he has an assault move.
What if? Oh my gosh, that's a good point.
And obviously
he can still move 12 inches.
Yep, 12 inches plus 2d6.
But just don't declare. Yeah, but just don't declare that he's using his jump pack, and get to re-roll your charge distance.
Yep, and he also, I would love to see this asshole. I love to see this guy, obviously be in the 150 point range.
Yeah. I just want to see these things fight the Wraith Knights. I want to see them just as good.
Also, I want him to have the overcharged. What is that crap that they get to do? Or like, I want to like overcharge this or Nova charge.
Nova reactor.
I want him to have the Nova reactor so I can be like, yo, I have 10 D shots this turn, and I can.
I also think the only way to make it fair and balanced is if he is over 200 points, maybe in the 220 range, that you get a free Helldrake for buying him.
Yeah, because they suck.
Yep.
Oh my God! Of course, I would love to see something standardized like that, though. Like honestly, like I'm not preaching balance. I don't want the game to be balanced. I like there to be bad matchups. Like, obviously that needs to be a part of the game. But like, I would like to see some kind of standard. I want to see some of the same tools be available, though. I want to see like how War Machine, like everyone can have the same Colossal, everyone can have the Warjacks and that. But like, so I want like if everyone got a gargantuan creature or super heavy. I would like to see that happen, but they serve the role of the army. Like the Orcs get a Stampa. That Stampa's a beast, and he has a lot of good rules. Like everyone always forgets, like, oh, he's a lot of points, dog. First off, that Stampa has D close combat, stomps, 9 hull points, and he's a transport. So he's objective secure for 30 points in Gretchen. Like, nah, man. Like that's a great unit. Like I'm not saying you have to play it every game, but like that's available to you. Obviously, the Eldar have what they got. Night Titans exist. There's a million Night Titan formations, but I'd love to see a Colossal, like a gargantuan creature for Tau, a gargantuan creature for Chaos Demons. Like literally,
that would be cool. Every
graded demon needs to be a gargantuan creature. Just come out with a new skull. Like if they're all the same level as the new Bloodthirster, why are they not all just gargantuan creatures?
Yeah, to be honest, I feel like Chaos and Nids have had the gargantuan creatures before there was gargantuan creatures. You know what I mean? Yep. Like these new stuff is coming out, and they're the ones getting all the love. But yeah, it would be absolutely amazing. I'd love to see some Chaos stuff. I'd like to get your opinion. I know you've talked on it before, Kenny, but the Chaos Night Titan.
The Catan or the Night Titan?
The actual Night Titan itself, the Chaos version that you can mark and stuff like that. I've actually heard rumors of some people saying that they've had some really good luck. Now, I don't know what their meta's like or something like that.
Well,
they're saying that it kind of fills in a void.
That's exactly what I would say. If you play Chaos right now, like if you're a Chaos like purist, like you're not spamming out zombies and Eldrakes and psychic powers. Like if you're actually just trying to play Chaos and you got some, power armor guys and a Rhino, and you got some obliterators, and of course you got a Havoc squad, with the Havoc squad with the autocannons. Like let's say you got you're playing a list and you're just like you want to play Chaos. You don't want to play it my way where you have spawns and psychic powers and Be'lakor. Obviously, if you put a Chaos Night Titan in your army, you're gonna win more games. Like you're absolutely gonna win more games. There's no way you can knock that, and you can knock that. Having a Night Titan that is not one eye open roll who doesn't have to be deployed outside of 12 inches of you, that is good.
Yeah. I know we've moved past a little bit, but we've had 2 people chime in and want to know about the topic of the Dream Crusher conversation. So first thing, Lamont, does the Dream Crusher let you roll for all reserves turn 1 or just units in the formation? And if it is the formation, can you add units to it?
It's just the formation. The 3 Storm Ravens themselves can begin rolling their reserves on turn 1. That's their so anything in them too. Like so you can put like do you believe you can I
Blood
don't know.
Angel? No, it's Blood Angel faction.
So what about like models embarked inside the Dream Crusher Storm Ravens? Like, are they not part of? What if you bought? Like obviously the formation is the formation, but you also have a Blood Angels CAD, and let's say I want to put all these dreadnoughts inside these Storm Ravens. Can they still come on turn 1 with the formation?
I'm trying to actually find the formation. I don't
Because
have it.
typically I say no because that was like kind of my first reason why the Skyhammer Annihilation Force doesn't let you put like Dante in it is because it literally says the formation comes in on turn 1. Like I'm like Dante's not part of the formation. Like I would just immediately just like oversimplify it and just say he's not in formation, he can't come in. But I could be wrong. A lot of people didn't buy it, so.
I'm Angel's Fury.
Angel's Fury, and I know a lot of other people in this.
Like, was in White Dwarf 47. It looks like.
I think Sal says he played a bunch of Dream Crusher, so maybe he knows like how they play in his area.
Yeah, actually, Sal. Excuse me. Sal has been. I've been reading through here saying that he has 3 Storm Ravens that get a roll on turn 1. He was shouting out. The Spearhead Formation special rule: if one friendly unit with the Blood Angels arrive from Deep Strike Reserve within 12 inches of that, at least 2 models from the formation, it does not scatter and can charge the same turn.
So you just have to arrive within 2 inches of 6 inches of any 2 Storm Ravens, and you don't scatter.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with located beacons or anything.
12 inches. Finally, a Blood Angels unit that deep strikes within 12 of at least 2 teleport homers from this formation do not scatter and can charge on the turn they arrive.
Well, where are all the teleport homers coming from? All the squads have them?
The sergeants from each squad get a teleport homer for free.
That's so crazy because, like, obviously this is its own rule because teleport homers do not work on things that are not Terminators, right? So this is its own rule, though, right?
Yep.
Because it just says Deep Strike Reserves from 6 inches to any 2 the teleport homers, and you do not scatter. It says that, right?
Yeah, because normally it's locator beacons.
Normally, a teleport homer only works on Terminator armor or deep striking. Mm-hmm. So this is going on to say you just have to be near their teleport homers, and you don't scatter. It's not saying use that set of rules. It's also not saying anything to do with like it has to be on the table before the reserves roll, because that's like how locator beacons and teleport homers normally work. They have to be on the table already, like for a turn, but like you know before. So it has its own set of wording for sure. And the fact that like the teleport homers are free, I mean they're super arbitrary. Like they're just like I don't know. Like I definitely believe these drop pods can do what we're saying. I'm just not sure if like, because here's one of the things I want to do. I want to fly the 3 Storm Ravens on, right? Then I want to Skies of Fury or Blood Skies out of the drop pod. I mean, out of the Storm Raven, right underneath it. And I want to charge out of it the same turn because I think I'm using Deep Strike special rules for the Blood Skies, and I came from reserves. Can I do that?
That's
pretty saucy too, because yeah, I think you use Deep Strike.
So, I'm sorry. I'm trying to find a Emperor's here had a point, and I can't find it again. But he's referring back to the conversation, and the gist of it is saying on page 168 or something in the movement phase, it's showing how if you come units arriving from a dedicated transport with Deep Strike count as Deep Strike themselves.
Yeah, so that's under the Deep Strike special rule. I think that's pretty correct.
It's pretty self-explanatory. They arrive Deep Strike themselves, and they're obviously arriving through reserves. And I would say, like, I just was teasing about the blood sky thing mainly because it does say via. Like, this unit did not enter the game. Like, if you're blood skying, you did not enter the game via Deep Strike reserves. You entered the game via board edge reserves, and then you use the Deep Strike special rule in this new special way. That would be amazing, though, to do that, you know, with like a dreadnought out of the skies of blood. But
yeah, no, I agree with you there. That was actually bringing up a good point in this. What's that?
Oh no, go ahead, Rob.
Oh, Sal's bringing up a good point, and this actually happened at an event we were at. Grab versus buildings. Buildings always win. So if you have a void shield generator, you just nullified any grab spam army list.
Oh yeah.
Which,
No, I was
yeah.
gonna tell that to Lucas today, but like I didn't want to break his heart. He was like, I mean, like I got into the place where he's like, well, I just need to take the Calixtus Assassin in every army, so I always win, right? Because I'm playing like 120 grab shots a turn. And I was like, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. You should always take it because you have a gimmick that you want to work. But I was like, in my mind, I was like, he's gonna be so sad when he plays him against somebody with a void shield generator.
He has no way to pop it. You have to have like 4 to 5 meltas just to try to punch through it.
Yeah, Austin actually learned that, and we all figured that out the hard way.
Yep.
During Austin's game, whenever he played the Blasian, Thomas Bird.
Bird, the giant.
Yeah, and he brings his 2 Night Titans and the Void Shield Generator, and Austin's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to table these 2 Night Titans in one turn. He drops down, and he's like, come to find out you actually can't hurt me with any of your weapons.
And you can toe drag through the Void Shield too.
Yep.
So like he would have them just barely touching. Just like straight like blasting.
Oh my god, like that's like one of the most gangster things you can do with like a Death Star army. Like especially with all the extra models that you spread out. You can literally be 1 inch away from me and have a guy with a millimeter of his base still in the Void Shield generator range. You know what I mean? Like, yo, it's the worst. Like the Void Shield generator just needs to not exist.
And something else that happened really interesting too in the game. I was one of the top table I was judging. Somebody deep struck onto the Void Shield generator, and they were like, it's a mishap. I was like, no, actually it's not. You can land in the battlements on top of it. And he's like, wait, I can just land there? And I was like, yeah, you can just land there.
Yeah, it's got battlements, man. It's
yeah, so he like literally, his Tau Crisis suits came in, landed on top of the battlements, and he's like,
suck it. I mean, they honestly should just change it to like how everything else is, like models within 12 inches. You know what I mean? Like
yes, instead of units.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like with this rule book, like it's probably one of the most ambiguous things that they've put out in this rule book is what a unit is. It's just read it on page 8. You'll just chuckle, and it makes me sigh. We can do better. We can do better.
Oh my God! Like it's already been an hour, and I feel like we should talk a few more minutes. We were just in such a rush. I didn't walk in the door until 2 minutes before we hit play on this thing.
Yeah, and obviously I didn't walk in the door till 9 minutes after they hit play and had computers. So thanks everybody for tuning in and staying with us.
We should definitely try to carpet bomb these Q&A real quick, Juice.
Yeah, I've been actually trying to, but because of technical difficulties, I am not signed in. I'm signed in myself, so I actually don't have too much control over them. Gabriel is saying the Tau Gargantuan Riptide, instead of overcharge, they get apocalyptic charge.
That seems fair.
Yep. And they only fail. It's passing on a 2-up. There's a difference.
And if you fail, you put a vortex grenade and you scatter it off your suit.
Oh my God.
So I don't know if you had a chance to earlier get to, but Sal is saying that there's in the Chicago area are running our first official tournament for Friendly Fire
Games. We did talk about it, but we could talk about it again. Friendly Fire Games. Check out the Facebook group.
There we go. Sorry about that. I'm having some.
Rob, you're gonna have to help him because he can't scroll up and down in the Q&A.
I'm kind of trying to go. Lamonte is saying that Dream Crusher lets you roll for reserves turn 1 or just units in the formation. And if it is in the formation, can you add units to it? Oh, we talked about that too.
Yeah, so we talked about I think we pretty much.
Troy says he needs 3 to 4 boxes of the Horus Heresy starter. Yeah, I agree. 100%. Maybe 10.
Yeah, Horus Heresy starter boxes are gonna make it to the next bag of bits.
Ooh, maybe. ...
We
get our hands on some. I know we're talking about trying to do the quarterly bits bags maybe next week. So we're trying to get all our stuff together, get stuff unpacked. So look for that here soon. What do you think? You got it?
Yeah, Gnarls Coleman is actually saying, what do you think if every main Space Marine chapter have their own specialized weapons?
See, that would be pretty neat. Maybe they couldn't make sprues for it or anything like that, but they could definitely say, hey, you got this bolter, and if you're, say, Iron Hands, you can fire the nanite round, or if you're Imperial Fist, you could fire the shield breaker round, or something like that. You know, that would be pretty neat.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I actually feel like GW has missed the mark on a lot of things, but they definitely missed the mark when Space Wolves did not get Frost weapons as pistols, assault weapons, and heavy weapons.
Yeah, they get Frost, and they don't get it in the squads. People get Grav, and they can have it in their squads. Like, that was a mistake.
Yeah. Black Tower Terrain is chiming in saying that he will be very upset, pissed off, PO'd, ad-libbing a little bit for you there, Black Tower, but to see Tau before Zinch or any other kind of chaos. Why won't GW push the awesomeness of chaos? There's such a huge, awesome part of the story, like true story, like chaos is
like the biggest part of like the whole novelization of the game is all about chaos.
And technically, it's their IP. They're 100% their IP, because what chaos isn't. It was, you know, obviously Chaos Theory book from the 60s, but Chaos Space Marines are most definitely theirs.
Yes, come to find out, you actually can't have the 41st Millennium without chaos.
Yeah, the whole game doesn't make sense without. Like, get rid of the Tau, still exists. Get rid of the Eldar, still exists. Get rid of Chaos, you don't even have a game anymore, man.
No.
Nope. We got a comment in here. The Aeronator 3. What do you guys think about promoting 40K in a bar setting? Love it. Sold on it already, but let's keep going. Me and another player have set up a small board and played 500-point games at the bar. As a result, we got 3 players interested. Do you guys have any other ideas to promote the hobby? So I think he's saying he's doing demos in a bar. That's kind of an interesting idea.
That's pretty cool. It's hard to do that because the typical wargamer is not going to be found in a bar. So I'm really impressed that you found a couple of guys to want to play with you. But you want to use the internet. That's going to be your primary source. Like, build a couple of guys, get a Facebook group, get a Facebook page.
Groups, yep.
You know, get on other people's groups, do the things like you're doing, and I think that's ultimately what's going to help.
Or even trying to run demos at like a local game store that might not even carry GW. Or even if they do carry GW, maybe they don't have a gaming scene.
Yeah, that's a great point. Just because somebody is carrying GW doesn't mean that they have a GW following. And sometimes it takes, and I've seen it happen more than once, where it's not necessarily the owner of the store that pushes the event. It is the players themselves have to take it upon them to do it.
That is a good point. You're gonna have to take. I mean, the bar. I mean, if you have a good bar scene and it's chill, and you need to talk to them about doing a Wednesday night or whatever their not karaoke night is, you know. And I used to play Street Fighter at the bar down in the Springs in Colorado, so same thing.
Sean Brown's chiming in about special rules for different chapters in the Dark Angels. All your plasma is mastercrafted. That's a good one too. I like that one.
Yeah, we're all about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we've spent some good time talking about how much love the Dark Angels deserve in that. But yeah, first off, they should never get hot.
Yeah.
Emperor's Canaries is asking if I will be at the tournament in Lynchburg on September 19th. I will not. I'm actually running the tournament at Fayetteville, North Carolina, the hobby town down here. So can't make it to that one. Would love to. There's a great store, Dragonfire Games, in Lynchburg. If you haven't checked it out, you live in Roanoke or Western Virginia, there, definitely check that store out. And if you're down here in North Carolina, make sure you head down to Fayetteville, because we're gonna have a pretty good event, bringing out the player policing themselves, sportsmanship a la Kenny Boucher. Try to keep everybody honest with each other.
I like it.
Yeah, we got to start creeping it in slowly to get people used to it,
Now, what are the details on the event for Hobbytown?
It's 1850 points, Battle Forge, so pretty much no preserves added. We are running the ITC FAQ because, to be honest, I just don't want to do a bunch of work and make people do even more work learning an FAQ when we have an FAQ that's available to pretty much everybody, and we'll just go by that. Might not agree with all of it,
sure.
But I'm willing to make compromises.
Agreed. I do believe like it's hard. It's hard to say use this FAQ except these parts. If you say you're going to use it, you use it.
Yep. So it's Battleforge. You can bring as many sources as you can fit in 1850. No worries there. I think there wasn't a restriction on Forge World. As long as it has a rule that isn't experimental, you can bring it.
Hierophant's going to be in full force.
Yeah,
Yep.
totally allowed.
Yeah,
But
there was a comment on the YouTube channel a while back, and I'm not gonna read off my response here. It was a good response, really philosophical. I'm gonna wait to the podcast before I break it down, but I'll give you like the summary. The summary of it is that, you know, like on the ITC, like FAQ and everything like that, is that I'll play in any event that runs that FAQ. You know, like I think it's amazing that that the West Coast guys are keeping the tournament scene so hot right now. But I would never run personally, like with our brand, like the way we're trying to do it. When we sit down and we try to do what we're trying to do and bring hobby back, it's not what we're going to run. I just want to make that clear distinction. Like, this is not a Long War official event. Like, this is a growing community event at the Hobbytown USA down in Fayetteville that Rob is helping, you know, socially bring the hobby back there. And this is the easiest way to do that. But I will go off on like my opinion. Like it's not like a negative thing later when we get to the podcast though.
yeah, no, I feel you there. And what's great about this community down here, and you know, being a military town and everything, people cycle in and people cycle out. So you have to, you know, you have to kind of be on your toes because you got so many people coming in and out that, you know, you got to keep the community together, because you lose a couple key members to deployment or PCS or, you know, whatever, then your community starts to fall apart. And obviously, me living here, I don't want that. So I'm willing to help out where I can. I don't think I've actually played a game of 40K down here yet.
Nope,
Yeah,
I don't think
and that actually goes back to what we were just talking about. It's like you just got to take it apart upon yourself, you know, to make the community better.
I'm 100% willing to do that.
Mo better. Well, guys, I think we have a podcast to record.
I agree. All right. Well, thanks for hanging in there, everybody, with all our technical gerbil issues and kitty cats. That might have been what the issue was. Could be that the cats ate the gerbils.
I would say probably just not enough cats, if I had to guess.
We need all the cats. All right. So that's it for this one, guys. Head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the battle reports. For exclusive content and early access videos, become a veteran of the Long War today. Good night, guys.